What's up, nerds, and welcome to week 1 of Hot Nerd Summer, the challenge where we cover 9 engineering subjects in 9 weeks. This week's topic is the fundamental theorem of calculus. Calculus is an incredible subject with rich history and wide versatility. It's used by scientists and engineers and can describe the phenomena of everyday life. Sometimes math and science can seem really confusing. These funky symbols can seem meaningless if you're new to them, but often, complex subjects are built on ideas you're already familiar with. In math, we start with addition and learn its inverse, subtraction. Then we learn multiplication and its inverse, division. In calculus, we learn new operators called derivatives and integrals. This ddx thingy is not a fraction, it's an operator called a derivative. And this squiggly s thingy stands for sum. It's an operator called an integral. Before we see how they work, just understand that derivatives and integrals are operators, and there's a beautiful relationship between the two. Just how subtraction is the inverse of addition, the derivative is the inverse of the integral. We can never truly comprehend infinity, the unfathomably large, zooming out as far away as possible. Now try zooming into the infinitely small, smaller than anything in this universe, smaller than atoms. That's called an infinitesimal. Mathematically, we can shrink some finite value of length, some delta x, down to an infinitely small length, infinitely close to zero, but still not equal to zero. That's called a differential, the seed for the concept of calculus. For linear functions, we can calculate its slope by using rise over run, given by the equation delta y over delta x. For more complicated functions, we can approximate the slope at a particular point by bringing delta x closer and closer to zero. Calculus allows us to define the derivative given by this equation. This converts the slope delta y by delta x into the derivative dy by dx. Remember that d stands for derivative, and it's not a fraction. It's an operator that gives us the slope of a function at every point along the function, creating a new function called the derivative. Now we can estimate the area under this curve by using the area of a rectangle given by length times height. Adding more and more rectangles gets us closer and closer to the true value of the area. If we have an infinite amount of infinitely thin rectangles, we define the area of these rectangles as the integral of the function. The relationship between the derivative and the integral is given by the fundamental theorem of calculus, which basically states that derivatives and integrals are inverse operations. Calculus was simultaneously derived by Newton and Leibniz in the 17th century. It's the foundation of modern mathematics, mechanics, engineering, and technology. If you're interested in learning calculus, make sure you check out the links in my bio for my favorite textbooks and resources. And if you like math and you haven't heard of 3 blue 1 brown, you're sleeping.